Hi guys, Miss Bergan. We are going to be doing 7-4, which is multiplying fractions again. The only difference is this one will be with models. And yes, you will have to do models on this one, all of them. So you can always check it with just regular multiplication to see if you are correct. However, you will have to show models on this. It is very important because on the state test, which we're still expected to have, is going to have these type of questions on there. So please pay attention to this. And we've kind of already have done this already. So it shouldn't be too much new, but do pay attention. You'll probably want to have like either colored pencils or if you don't have color pencils or highlighters or anything, that's no issue. You can simply do it with just a pencil. That is totally up to you. I'm going to use highlighters just so that you guys can see it a little better. All right, so here we go. I'm going to flip it around. All right, so this one says Jane is making reusable grocery bags and lunch bags. She needs 3/4 yard of cloth to make a grocery bag, and to make a lunch bag, she needs 2/3 of the amount of cloth that she needs for the grocery bag. How much cloth does she need for the lunch bag? So it says that she needed 2/3 of what they used for the grocery bag. Well, this was for the grocery bag. So 2/3 of it means you would have multiplied to figure out what that would be. Now, here's the thing. We're going to find 2/3 of 3/4. So 3/4, and now you're going to be multiplying it by 2/3, which is smaller than 1/2. So therefore, when you multiply a fraction that is smaller than 3/4, your answer should come out to be smaller than 3/4. So we'll be talking more about that. Now, when it comes to showing models on this, if it was like this is telling you your how many rows are right here. And this is telling you how many columns. And then this one is telling you what needs to be shaded of each. So this is telling you the shaded rows. And this is telling you how many shaded of the columns there should be. So, of course, you guys know how to do this as well. You guys can always double check and make sure you are right, but just simply going across, that would be 6/12. But I don't want just the answer to this. I need you to do the models. So I'm going to show you how to do the models. So this is telling you you need 4 columns. So I'm going to make a box. I'm going to make 4 columns, and that's 4 up and downs. So in order to show 4 of these columns, I need actually one less of 4 lines. So that would be 3 lines, and then that should make 4 columns. And then it told me right here how many need to be shaded. There's 3 of them that need to be shaded. Okay, so there's 3/4 that are being shaded. Next, it is saying here's how many rows. Now these, remember, rows go side to side. So I'm going to put that little visual there. Side to side is rows. Columns are up and down. So side to side are rows. Columns are up and down. So this one is saying I need 3 rows going side to side. So in order to do that, I'm going to do one less. So that would be, I only need 2 lines, and then that should be my 3 rows. Okay, and then it says right here what need to be shaded in rows. Okay, so if I did that, so this would be 1 row, and this would be 2 rows. So now I'm going to see how many have both uh, the highlighters in it. That is what is really the ones that I'm going to be worried about. This is my answer, the ones that are overlapping with color. So therefore, if you look, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we had 6 out of hopefully a total of 12. So if we counted all this, remember this is all 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that is 6 out of 12. So therefore, that is how you show that. So this is showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 12 squares is showing this model. Okay, so that is how you do that. Okay, this next one, I am going to totally go against how they're showing you, but I am going to show this using our models down below here. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to do it up here. So if you want to cross, you know you should just do 3/12. That should be your answer. So I'm going to do my model up here. Remember, this is how many rows, and this is how many columns. So I'm going to do, it doesn't really matter which one you do first. I like to do the columns first and get that out of the way. The columns are going to be 4. So that means I need 3 lines to make up 4. And then this is how many I'm going to be shading of those columns. I'm going to be shading 3 of those. Okay. And then next, this is telling me how many rows. There will be 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then how many need to be shaded? I need only 1 of the 3. And this one was 3 of the 4. Okay, so this one is only 1 of the 3. So I'm just going to shade. But remember, I only care about the ones that are overlapping. So this is not overlapping because it does not have that yellow underneath. This one does, and this one does. So I'm only going to be counting these ones. 1, 2, 3. So therefore there are 3 out of how many make up the entire thing, to make up the entire whole. If you counted each one of these, there are a total of 12. So therefore my answer would have been 3/12, which is what this is showing. So that is how you just make up a model. All right, here we go, another one. Again, this is your rows and columns. So rows are down here. So if you look, there are 5 rows. And then this is your columns. It is showing you 3. So if you want to know the answer right away, it would have been 3/15. But I don't want just an answer on these. I do want to see your graphs as well. So if you do this, it is already showing that 1 of the 3 columns. So that's 1 of the 3 columns are shaded. Okay. And then this one is saying that 3 out of the 5 rows need to be shaded. So if I went across, they just, again, want to know what is overlapping. And that is why they only care about this part, because this has both colors, this has both colors, and this one has both colors. This does not have both colors, and either do these. So therefore, you should have 3. And if you counted up all of these to make up this whole thing, it would be 15. So that would be 3/15 would be this answer. Okay, next. I'm not a big fan of this particular way of showing a model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this model up here. So it would be rows versus columns again. So I'm going to make a big rectangle. Again, this is telling me how many columns. So I need 5 columns. That means 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. How many are shaded? Should be, what is up here? There is 3 of them that should be shaded. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to look at our rows. This is how many need to be shaded. So there needs to be 3 rows. There are no rows right now, so I'm going to make 3. There's 1. And if I do 1 more, there's my 3. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Remember, rows go side to side, columns go up and down. So of these, 2 of them need to be shaded. Okay, so if I do that, again, I'm only caring about the ones that have both colors in it. So this is 1, here's 2, here's 3. This one does not have both colors in it, either does this. So here's 4, 5, 6, these don't, and these don't. So therefore, if I went across, just to find my answer, it would be 6/15. And if you look, here is 6. And then if you kept on going and counting all of these, this is 6 right here that is already counted. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, the answer would be 6/15. All right, so we will continue. I will do a couple more with you, and then I want you guys to try it on your own. So here we go. This one says 2/3 of 1/5. So again, this is your rows, this is your columns. So you would make a rectangle. This is telling you how many columns. You would have 5. So 5 going up and down. 1, 2, 3. If you make 1 less line than that 5, that should mean 5 columns, and it is. And then you need only 1 to be shaded. Okay, and then you go to the rows. You need 3 rows, and 2 of those 3 need to be shaded. So this one, that's only 1. And then here's my 2 and my 3rd row. And then they said I need 2 out of these 3 to be shaded. So this and this. If you look, I again only want the ones that have overlapping of both colors. So this is 1 and this is 2. So there should be only 2 out of how many make up this whole thing. If you look, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It would be 15. And if you went right across, you would still get your answer of 2/15. But again, I don't just want the answer, I want the model too. So that is that. Here is the next one. Again, this is rows versus columns. So to do this, I'm going to make a big rectangle. All right, so now this is saying I need 6 columns. So that means 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I made 5 lines, I should have 6 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see mine is not perfect. Don't worry about making it perfect. So of those 6, 5 of them need to be shaded. So all but 1. So there's my 5 out of the 6 that are shaded. Now, I am going to now look and see how many rows. I need 2 rows. So I'm just going to use just one line to go across, and I need one of those 2 to be shaded. So 1 need to be shaded. So now my next thing is which ones are overlapping and showing both colors in there. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not overlapping both colors and either or any of these. So therefore there is only 5 out of a total of 12. And if you went across, you would get your 5 12s. But again, I want both the answer and the model for that. Okay. So I want you to try 5 and 6 on your own. So please pause this and try 5 and 6 on your own. Okay, if you did 5 and 6 on your own, your answer would have been 3/15 for this one. Now again, you would have done 3 columns, which I have right here, and only one of them is shaded. And then of the rows, you would have had 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many are shaded? 3 of them are shaded. So what is overlapping both colors? This one would have been 1, 2, and then this one would have been your third out a total of 15 boxes. So that is 3/15. If you want to reduce it down, it would have been 1/5. Here in this case, you would have done rows and columns. So you would have had 6 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you would have shaded just 1. And then here, rows going across, you needed 4, and 3 of those 4 needed to be shaded. So again, we're only worried about the ones that have both colors. This would have been 1, 2, and 3. So that would have been 3 out of a total of 24. All right, I'm not a big fan of this next one. However, we're going to still do it. So it's saying Ricardo's recipe for 4 loaves of bread requires 2/3 of olive oil. He only wants to make just 1 loaf though. Ricardo makes a model to find out how much oil he needs to use. He folds the, oh, this is why I didn't like this one. He's telling you that he folds this into this and this. This one gets really confusing. That is why I don't like that one. So actually I meant to do it this one, sorry. 3/4 of the spinach casserole is left over after Sam has lunch. Jackie and Alicia each take a half of the leftover casserole. Jackie eats only 2/3 of her portion. What fraction of a whole casserole did Jackie eat? All right, so right up here it says 3/4 of a spinach casserole is left over. They each take a half of it. But Jackie, it's only worried about Jackie. So she again took a half of the 3/4. So half of 3/4. Okay. So let's see what half of the 3/4 is of this. So if you go across, that would have been 3/6. Oh, sorry, 3/8. My fault. 3/8. So that would have been 3/8 is what she had. But it says she only eats 2/3 of her portion. Her portion was 3/8. That's what she had up here. So she had 3/8 of the casserole, but she only ate 2/3 of it. 2/3 of it. So now what you would do is you could just simply go across and figure out what that is. So you could do it says draw a model. So rows versus columns. I'm going to make a big rectangle here. This is saying how many rows. There's 3. Oh, sorry, 3 columns. 2 of them are shaded. And then there's 8 rows. So I'm going to do that. That means 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh boy. Let's do one more up here. 7. Okay. So there's 7. And it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you make 7 lines, that will give you your number 8. So if you do that, 3 of those need to be shaded. So 1, 2, 3. So what ones are overlapping? Well, this is 1 because it does have yellow in it. I just didn't bring it all the way up. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you went across, it should have been 6 out of 24. And then this would have been 24 if you counted up all of those. So that is your model for that one. All right. All right, I'm gonna go right on in to your homework now. Again, I am not a big fan of this particular model that they are showing you. This is rows and columns. So it does say find, oh, this one just says find the product anyway. It does not say to draw a model. So in this case, I'm just going to go straight across, or I can cross cancel. So if you just went across, it would have been 10 over 30. And then that would have been plenty okay as your answer. Now, you also, in this case, could have cross canceled. 5 can go into 5 1 time, so they would both turn to 1s. Can 2 go into 6 evenly? Yes. 2 can go into 6 3 times, and then this would be a 1. So if you went across, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So you could have had one of these 2 answers would be your answer. Now this is where it says find the product. Product means answer to a multiplication problem. And draw a model. And this is what I want you guys to do here. You have to draw models as well. So you're going to be drawing a model for here and for here. Don't forget that. So your homework on this page will be 4 and 6. I am going to do these ones with you, and I'm going to help you know to show your answer. I just don't want the product. I want both of these. So if you went across, your answer should be 4/10. Now, again, this is telling you how many rows, and this is how many of your rows need to be shaded. This is how many columns, and this is how many columns need to be shaded. So remember, rows go side to side and columns go up and down. All right, so in this case, if I showed a rectangle, your columns mean that there are 2. And how many are shaded? Only 1 of your columns are shaded. And then your next one is telling you how many rows. So that is 5 rows. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And how many of those need to be shaded? It is 4 of those. So if I go across, that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you come back and see how much have both of those colors in it, this has both the yellow and the blue, but this one does not have a yellow. This one has both, but this one doesn't. This one has both, but this one doesn't. And then this one also has both, but this doesn't. So therefore, your answer would be 4 out of the 10 would be your answer on that. And then here, same thing. I'm going to make a rectangle. This is how many columns is 3. So that means 2 lines. This is how much need to be shaded. So that would be 2 out of the 3 need to be shaded. Then this one is telling you there needs to be 8 rows. So that means 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll make another one, 7, and then that should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. Okay, and then how many of the 8 need to be shaded? There needs to be 3 out of the 8 shaded. So going across, 1, 2, 3. Now again, we're only worried about the ones that are overlapping and have both colors. This one has both colors. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. But these do not, and either do any of these. So therefore, your answer should be 6 out of how many total blocks are there? If you counted up each of those blocks, there would have been 24. And then that's how you're getting your answer. So not only, you can always double check and make sure you're right by just doing that. But that is how you do it. So make sure you are showing both the model and the answer, the product, to each one of these. Now down here, it does not say that you need to do a model. So you don't need to do a model down here. So you will have 7 for homework. And I'm going to do 8. If it doesn't say that you have to do a model, then don't worry about it. You don't have to. So Marlon bought 7/8 of a pound of turkey at the deli. He used 2/3 of it to make sandwiches for lunch. How much turkey did he use for sandwiches? So 2/3 of the turkey. Well, how much turkey was there? There was 7/8. So in order to find this, you would have to do 2/3 of means times 7/8. 2/3 of 7/8. So you guys can simply go across and find your answer that way, or you can see if you can cross cancel. So one of these 2 ways. So see if you can cross cancel first. Here you can. A 2 can go into 8 evenly. 2 can go into 8 4 times. So if you go across, that would be 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 3 times 4 is 12. So you could have said this much of a pound, or you could have just went across. That would have been 14 over 24. So you could have had this or this as an answer. Totally up to you. Same thing, same exact thing. Because if you times this one by 2 to both top and the bottom, 2 times 12 would still get you 24. If you times this by 2, 7 times 2 is 14. It's still the same thing. Also, you could have done the opposite, divided them both by 2 to get back down to this number. So they're still the same thing. All right, and then on your homework, you will have 2, 3, and 5 on the back. Don't worry about 4. Number 1, we're going to do together. It says Tina has 3/5 pound of rice, and she is going to use 2/3 of it to make fried rice for her family. How much rice will Tina use to make fried rice? So 3/5 of the is rice, and she's going to use 2/3 of this. So 2/3 of it. So again, you could just go right across, and if you do, it will come out to be 6/15. Or you could have, again, I just want one answer. I don't need two answers for each of these. Just pick one of the methods that you like. So if you just want to crossed, would have been your answer. You could have also done the cross canceling. 3 can go into 3 one time, so they would change to ones. 2 cannot go into 5 evenly, so therefore going across, that would be 2/5. And this is your answer, 2/5. All right, and then the last one that I do want to go over is this one, number 6. It is talking about a bunch of different operations. And when you have these type of things, you need to do, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the first thing is any parentheses. Actually, parentheses or grouping symbols. There are parentheses. So that is what we are going to be doing first. This is 18, but you still have a plus. We still did not use this bracket, but this part would be 10, but we did not use this bracket. And then you bring everything else down that you did not use. So is there any more parentheses or grouping symbols? Well, this is a type of parenthesis. So we need to get this done next. So if you did that, that would come out to be 28. Then bring everything else down that you did not use. Is there any more parentheses? No. Any exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes. And since this is a division, how many 7s go into 28? Your answer is 4. So that is your answer. And that is the whole lesson for 7-4. And that is it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.